Today is July 27th, 2025. I'm up here where Camp Creek flows into the Klamath River. Thought I would kind of come up today and see what things were looking like. I haven't been up here in a few weeks, let alone videoed. This is one of the areas that they were working on previously, moving sediment away from Camp Creek. You can see that there is some water flow. It is trickling down there. Not a lot of water. Looks like there could already be some moss forming. But this is kind of what this area is looking like. You can see where they took the sediment from down there near the creek from that area, and they basically just moved it up the footprint right there and they dumped it. And then they took the dozer and leveled it out there. You can definitely tell in the soil where they haven't worked how it's all still cracked down there. This is kind of what this whole area is looking like right here. So I'm going to pause it, go around the tree. So I came around the tree. This is kind of what the whole area is looking like. I don't see any excavators or anything parked out here today. I don't see the tent here anymore that used to be here. Kind of see what things look like as I continue going up. But right there is where Jenny Creek is. Like I said, there's very little water flow. It's kind of trickling. And that would be the bank edge that they moved or made it more of a bank, I guess. It's not as steep there as it used to be. You can see there is some water right there where they expanded the creek. Looks like it's sitting there. And in that area, you can kind of see the water sitting there. It's definitely not flowing much when you look down the creek bed as a whole. It's barely trickling. All the trees are still here. You can definitely see where they moved all the sediment up to. The dark patchy areas is the sediment that they moved from the creek bed up to further up higher in the footprint. So we're gonna pause it and we're gonna head on up the road. So I came down the road a little bit. This would be looking down Camp Creek towards Klamath River. So you can see there is some water sitting there. It doesn't really look like it's flowing anywhere. The creek was in that green area, so you can see when they widen it, there's water overflow in some areas. Like I said, where the green plants are is where the creek was, and you can see from them moving, the dirt is kind of leached out of where it was before. You can really see it good from this angle. And that's as it goes on out the river, or to the Klamath River. I'll zoom out just a little bit more. I'll walk around this tree so you can kind of see what it's looking like up this direction. I'll get out here on the edge. That's kind of looking back from where I was just looking. So it kind of looks like they got to this section. It looks like they did some in here. We'll see what it looks like when we get up further around the bend. I'm not quite sure what they're doing with that mound of dirt. Maybe that's some of the excess. I'm not sure. But like I said, right, that patch in front of it, you can tell sediment that's been moved. I can kind of hear the creek barely trickling down there. Like I said before, all those dark spots that you see up above is where they move the sediment from the creek bottom up to. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we start getting our winter rains, how much of that sediment is going to wash back down the hillside, depending on how hard it rains. And that's looking back down. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it, and I'm going to head on up the road.